Very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. We are coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst, where the people come first, I'm Martin Satyanesa.
And I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. Here are tonight's top stories.
Rajitha, Nima Lanza and Ratanathero remanded. Shashindra Rajapaksa also further remanded. Former President Ranil discharged from National Hospital. Opposition parties continue unity discussions amid SLPP absence. Colombo Stock Exchange sees all share price index rise. Thai Prime Minister loses position for ethics violation.
On to those stories in detail. Former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, who appeared in court today, was ordered to be remanded until the 9th of September by Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga S. Bodaragama. A warrant had earlier been issued against him for failing to appear in a case related to the alleged granting of a sand excavation project at the Kirinda Fisheries Harbour to a Korean company, which is said to have caused a loss of over 20 million rupees to the government.
Former Minister Rajitha Senaratne appeared in open court this morning in connection with another case being heard before the High Court. Colombo High Court Judge Lanka ordered that he be placed in remand custody and produced before the Colombo Magistrates Court. Accordingly, prison officials presented the suspect before the Colombo Magistrates Court. When the case was taken up, Assistant Director of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Sulochana Hettiarachchi, appeared on behalf of the Commission. She stated that former Fisheries Minister Rajitha Senaratne has been named as a second suspect in connection with the incident where on 12th of May 2012, a sand excavation project at the Kirinda Fisheries Harbour was granted to a Korean company, causing a loss of over 20 million rupees to the government. Excerpt.
Your Honour, this second suspect, who at the time served as the relevant minister, had handed over the project to a Korean company without obtaining proper environmental assessment reports or cabinet approval.
End of excerpt. The assistant director further told court that the suspect Rajitha Senaratne had evaded the commission and gone into hiding. Excerpt.
Your Honour, the first suspect in this case, former chairman of the Fisheries Corporation Upali Lienage, has already been released on bail. As for the second suspect, Rajitha Senaratne, he was informed by letter to appear before the Commission on the 2nd of July to provide a statement regarding the incident. However, he failed to do so, claiming through his attorney that he was ill. The only document submitted was a prescription, which carried neither a doctor's name nor a date of treatment. Later, the Commission received a medical report from Dr. Rukshan Bellana, Deputy Director of the National Hospital, confirming the prescription. On the 8th of August, a search warrant was executed against the suspect. He was not found at his residence and 5 possible hiding places were inspected by Commission officers, but he was not present at any of them. The suspect's son and certain supporting parties are also attempting to exert undue influence on the investigations by making public statements to the media, thereby obstructing the inquiry.
End of excerpt. The Assistant Director requested that, as the suspect has repeatedly avoided the Commission and failed to cooperate with investigations, he be placed in remand custody. Excerpt.
Your Honour, this suspect has never made himself available to the investigation and has continuously evaded the Commission. This has caused serious obstruction to the inquiry. Based on his statement, further investigations are to be carried out. Therefore, we request that he be remanded until the 9th of September and be produced before the Commission on the 3rd of September to record his statement.
End of excerpt. Appearing on behalf of the suspect, President's Counsel Anuja Premaratne submitted a bail application. Excerpt.
Your Honour, my client has not willfully evaded court as claimed. On the date he was asked to appear to provide a statement, he was hospitalized due to illness. Everyone knows that government hospitals only issue medical reports at the time of discharge, not while treatment is ongoing. This is why my client initially submitted the prescription issued at the hospital to the Commission. If required, he is ready to appear before the Commission and give a statement. He poses no risk of influencing witnesses. Therefore, I respectfully request that he be released on suitable bail.
End of excerpt. However, as there were no confirmations before court that the suspect would cooperate with investigations, Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga S. Bodaragama ordered that he be remanded. Excerpt.
At this stage, the court must consider whether the suspect if released on bail, would return to court and whether he would voluntarily cooperate with the investigation. Under Section 5 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, investigators are empowered to exercise all legal authority against the suspect as required. Accordingly, the suspect is remanded until the 9th September. The prison authorities are also directed to produce him before the Bribery Commission on the 3rd September to record his statement.
End of excerpt.
Case file.
Former State Minister Nimal Lanka was remanded until the 12th of September after surrendering to the police earlier today. This evening, he was produced before Negombo magistrate Rakitabe Singha. Lanka faces charges related to an incident that occurred during the 2006 local government elections in which he allegedly caused damage to the residence of the then deputy mayor of Negombo. Police media spokesperson F.U. Bootler said that Lanka is charged with unlawful entry, unlawful assembly and theft. Nimal Lanka was taken into custody after he surrendered to the Kochikade police earlier today.
අවුරුදු 19කට පස්සේ දේශපාලන පලි ගැනීම අවුරුදු 19ක් නැති ඉතිහාසයක් දැන් පැවරුවා පොලිසිය 3 දෙනෙක් සාක්ෂි දෙනා මම පොලිසිය හිටියේ කියලා. ඒ නිසා මේක සම්පූර්ණ දේශපාලන පලි ගැනීමක්. සර් කෙනෙක් ගන්න අනිවාර්යයි. එමතුමා වත් එක අපි ඉන්නවා.
Case file.
Former Member of Parliament Venerable Athuraliye Rathanathero was remanded until the 12th of September by the Nugegoda Magistrates Court. The order was made when a case filed by the Colombo Crimes Division was taken up for hearing today. Venerable Rathanathero, who secured a national list seat in Parliament through the Ape Janabala party at the 2020 general election, is accused of kidnapping and detaining the party's General Secretary, Venerable Vedinigama Bimalathissatero, in an attempt to claim the seat through undue pressure. The Colombo Crimes Division visited the Rajgiriya Sadaham Sevana, where Venerable Athuraliye Rathanathero was residing, to arrest him in connection with the ongoing investigations. However, police had earlier informed the court that he was not present at the location. Meanwhile, the bail application filed on behalf of Venerable Rathanathero before the Gangodavila Magistrates Court on the 18th of August 2025 was rejected.
Case file.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga S. Bodargama ordered today that former State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa be remanded again until the 12th of September. Rajapaksa faces charges under the Offences Against Public Property Act. The case concerns damage caused to property, including an unauthorized building on land belonging to the Sri Lanka Mahaveli Authority in Sevanagala, which was destroyed during past protests. It is alleged that officials of the affected office were pressured, resulting in compensation of 8,850,000 rupees being obtained for the property. Today, the court was scheduled to rule on the suspect's bail application. While delivering the order, the magistrate stated that the request made by Rajapaksa's lawyers to release him from custody was rejected in accordance with Section 186 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Furthermore, the magistrate noted that sufficient grounds had been presented under Section 8(1) of the Offences Against Public Property Act, and therefore the bail application was denied and the suspect was remanded again. Previously, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption had requested that the suspect remain in custody until the trial under the Offences Against Public Property Act concludes. However, the magistrate clarified that the suspect would not be held in custody until the end of the trial. Instead, he will remain in remand only until the next court date. The magistrate instructed the Commission to present all evidence related to the case at the next hearing.
Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was receiving treatment at the National Hospital of Sri Lanka in Colombo, was discharged from the hospital this evening.
Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe was admitted to the intensive care unit of the National Hospital on the 23rd of August while in remand custody. He had been remanded in custody after being produced before the CID on the 22nd over charges of spending 16.6 million rupees on a foreign trip. Ranil Wickremesinghe was later released on bail on the 27th of August while receiving treatment in hospital. During this time, Samagi Jana Balawega MP Dr. Harsha De Silva visited the former president to check on his well-being.
මම ලංකාවේ හිටියේ නෑ මං ඇමරිකාවේ හිටියේ නිසා මේ ඊයේ තමයි මං ආවේ
මොකද කියන්න තියෙන ඔබතුමාට මේ පවතින දේශපාලන අලුත් තත්ත්වය ගැන
අත්වශයෙන්ම වෛරී ද්වේෂ සහගත දේශපාලනය රටකට සුදුසු නෑ සමාජයේ තියෙන බෙදීම් තවදුරටත් මේ රිපෙයාර් කරනවා මිසක් ඒවා තවදුරටත් වැඩි කරන එක එච්චර හොඳ දෙයක් නෙමෙයි
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය සමගි ජන බලවේගය එකතු වෙයිද මේ විදියට
දන්න ඒවා පස්සේ බලමුකෝ හරි ඒවා පස්සේ බලමුකෝ
Today is the International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances. This marks the second day of the excavations in Ampara as authorities continue searching for evidence related to various criminal activities, including murders. Excavations began yesterday around the Thambuluville cemetery in Ampara following reports of a possible human corpse in the area.
These investigations are based on a statement given by an aide to Inya Bharati, who is considered a close associate of Sivanesathurai Chandrakanthan alias Pillayan, the former Chief Minister of the Eastern Province. Former Eastern Provincial Councillor Inya Bharati is currently in police custody in connection with various criminal activities, including murders. The police stated that yesterday's excavations did not yield any findings. Excavation activities continued into today for the second consecutive day. Sivanesathurai Chandrakanthan alias Pillayan was taken into custody on the 8th of April by the Criminal Investigation Department in connection with an investigation into the abduction and disappearance of Professor Siva Subramaniam Ravindranath, who served as Deputy Vice Chancellor at the Eastern University from 2004 to 2006. Professor Ravindranath had been missing since the 15th of December 2006 after attending a meeting in Colombo. His family filed a complaint with the police after he failed to return home.
Talks between opposition political parties, which began after the arrest and remand of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, continued at multiple venues today.
This morning, a discussion was held at the opposition leader's office, led by opposition leader Sajid Premadasa. Representatives from Samagi Jana Balawega, the United National Party and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, among other opposition parties, attended. Newsfirst correspondent reported that the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna did not participate in today's discussions.
මේ එකතුව ආණ්ඩුවට කියනවා මේ එකතුව මේ කේල්මල් හොයන්න එපා අනුන්ගේ රෙද්දවල හොයන්න තු ඉන්දිය කියලා ආණ්ඩුවට. මොකද හැමදේම හොයනවා. අපේ හම්බ වුණත් ආණ්ඩුවට හරි වදයක් අපි ගිහිල්ලා කොහේ හරි කෑම කෑවත් වදයක් අපි කොහේ හරි ගියත් වදයක් කා හිනා වුණත් වදයක් ආණ්ඩුවට වෙන වැඩ නැද්ද කරන්න.
රනිල් මහත්තයා ඔක්කොම සෙට් එක නෙහෙ දැන්නේ. ඒවා කියලා විරාජ් කියනවා තේරෙනවා.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය සමගි ජන බලවේගය කියන්නේ ඒකේ ඉන්න ජනතාව එකයි දෙකක් හිටියේ නෑ. අර වෙන් වෙලා හිටියා තමයි. දැන් එකතු වුණාම පොඩක් රිදෙනවා එක් එක්කෙනාට. ගණන් ගන්න එපා. එකතු වෙලාම තමයි ඉන්නේ. බලන්න ගියා.
කොහොමද දැන් සාකච්ඡා හොඳයි අපි ඉතින් ඔක්කොම කණ්ඩායමක් විදියට අපි කොහොමද ඔක්කොම එකමුතුව එකට එකතු වෙලා ඉදිරි වැඩ කටයුතු කරන්න කියන එක තමයි සාකච්ඡා කරන්නේ. දැන් රනිල් මහත්තයා සජිත් මහත්තයාත් ආවා. සජිත් මහත්තයාත් අතනකොට ගන්න කියලා කියනවා. ඒයිද එතුමා වෙනුත් පෙනී ඉන්නේ. වැරදි දෙයක් නම් ඔක්කොම එකට එකතු වෙලා පෙනී ඉන්නවා එච්චරයි. පොඩ කතා කරලා අද සාකච්ඡා කරමු. කොහොමද?
රට හිටියේ ඈ
රට ඔබතුමා දැක්කේ නැනේ?
ඒකනේ හරි එන්න.
හරි. මේ දැන් ඔබතුමාලා දැන් ඔක්කොම එකතු වුණානේ.
වෙන වෙනම ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා තියෙනවා.
විදියට පක්ෂ දෙකක් නැත්නම් එකක් වෙයිද? දැන් එක්සත් ජාතික සමගි ජන බලවේගය.
ඒක අපි බලමු. තව සාකච්ඡා ස්වරූපෙන් තියෙනවා.
මේ නායකත්වයේ කොහොමද?
නායකත්වවල ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ. ඒක නායකයෝ දෙන්න බලාගන්නේ.
ඔව් නේ. ඒකේ සජිත් මහත්තයයි රනිල් මහත්තයයි. මේ වෙන කවුරුත් නැද්ද එතකොට? 20 නාමල්ලු. දැන් ওই සජිත් මහත්තයා රනිල් මහත්තයලා නාමල් මහත්තයලා එකතු වෙලා නාමල් ගෙනේද?
කොහොමද තව දේශපාලනේ කාටවත් වේලසට කියන්න බෑනේ. කොච්චර දේවල් වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවද මේ වෙනකොට?
සර් කොහොමද සාකච්ඡා? දැන් ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලානේ. ඒක නේ සතුටු නැද්ද? දැන් සජිත් මහත්තයාලා සෙට් එක, රනිල් මහත්තයාලා සෙට් එක, එතකොට නාමල් මහත්තයාලා සෙට් එක. ඇත්තටම සතුටු නැහැ. ඔබතුමා අතසොරෙන් ඉන්නේ. මේ සමගි හැමදාම තියෙද? සජිත් මහත්තයාත් අරස් කරොත් සජිත්ෙන් රිමාන්ඩ් කරොත් එතුමා වෙනුත් ඉන්නවා.
නැති මේ යන විදිහට අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මං හිතන්නේ කාව රිමාන්ඩ් කරනවද මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සැලැස්ම මොකක්ද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැනේ. ඒ නිසා අපි විපක්ෂයක් විදිහට
අපි සූදානම් එන දෙයට මුහුණ දෙන්න.
දැන් සන්දානයක් වුණත් ඉදිරියේදී හැදෙන්න පුළුවන්.
දැන් සාකච්ඡා කරන් යනවා. එකමුතුව වැදගත්.
දැන් ඒතකොට ඉන්න රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහමැතිතුමා ඉන්නවා. නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ ඉන්න පොහොට්ටුවේ.
ඒ වයිට් එක ඉස්සරහට එනේවනේ.
රනිල් මහත්තයා වෙනුවෙන් විපක්ෂයෙන් එකතු වුණා වගේ සජිත් මහත්තයා දෙයක් වුණොත් අනිත් කට්ටියත් එයිද?
අනිවාර්යෙන්. අසාධාරණයක් වුණොත් අපි එක්ක වෙනවා.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහමැතිතුමා එයිනේ.
එහෙම දෙයක් නෑ. ඉතර දුර අපි හිතන්නේ නෑ.
SJB national organizer Sirasa says that although some factions claim that wrongdoers have joined forces, the aim of the opposition alliance is to unite against repression.
Currently, the government is deeply concerned about the unity within the opposition and their coordinated efforts. They interpret the opposition's coming together as a sign of wrongdoers joining forces. In reality, the main reason for this unity is the government's ongoing large-scale political repression. Because of these government actions, all political parties that value democracy have decided to stand together on a single issue to resist repression and safeguard democracy. Regardless of party colors or political affiliations, we are united in expressing opposition to these measures, and I want to emphasize that this unity is significant.
People's Tomorrow organization held a press conference today and expressed its views on the opposition's alliances.
The situation is becoming tense. Those who previously did not unite for the country are now coming together for their own protection and security. There is a sense that the law can reach anyone at any time, and this fear seems to be driving these gatherings. Now they've brought up another phrase, political revenge. Initially they said if possible catch them and show them. Now that it has begun, they are terrified. Nimal Lanka is being remanded today over a case dating back to 2006 and will hand himself over to the police. Rajitha Senaratne, a former cabinet minister who has served in multiple governments, is also facing the law. Venerable Ratna, an influential thinker who has shaped presidents and political systems in this country, is being taken into custody and remanded as well. Shouldn't the law apply equally to everyone?
Newsfirst with the people.
Marking the 75th anniversary of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, a new commemorative Rs 2000 currency note was presented this morning to President Anurukumara Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat by the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe.
This commemorative note, issued to mark the anniversary, is the fifth commemorative currency note released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, reflecting the bank's unwavering commitment to strengthening economic stability as the foundation for national development. The note has been issued under the anniversary theme, Stability for Prosperity. On this occasion, the President also engaged in cordial discussions with officials of the Central Bank. Participating in the event was Secretary to the President Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka, Senior Deputy Governor of the Central Bank Mrs. KMA N. Dowlagala, Assistant Governor KGP Sirikumara, and Superintendent Currency Department PDR Dayananda.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka marked its 75th anniversary, highlighting its role in safeguarding financial stability and guiding the nation's economic progress.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka celebrated its 75th anniversary oration in Colombo today. The Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Nandalal Veerasinghe, delivered the anniversary oration on the theme, Why Central Bank Independence Matters, in Crisis, in Recovery and Beyond, at the institution's 75th anniversary celebrations.
Allowing a central bank to make its decisions and operate without being influenced by the government or politicians for short-term political mileage is called independence. This will allow a central bank to focus on its mandates, such as maintaining price stability and financial system stability for most central banks. Institutions such as central banks function best with independence, since maintaining stability, the co-function of central bank, is a long-term necessity for any economy that pursues prosperity. While independence is vital, it does not and must not mean operating in isolation. Coordination between monetary and fiscal authorities remain essential.
His address highlighted the central bank's independence as essential for monetary stability, restoring confidence and driving sustainable recovery. A memorial plaque was presented to Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, by members of the Governing Board and Monetary Policy Board. He was also recognized on the global stage, receiving an A grade in global finances 2025 Central Banker Report Cards. Originally established as the Central Bank of Ceylon on 28th of August 1950, under the Monetary Law Act No. 58 of 1949, it maintained an active monetary policy and dynamic financial sector to support economic growth. Renamed the Central Bank of Sri Lanka in 1985, it serves as the country's apex financial institution.
For the first time in history, the Colombo Stock Exchange All-Share Price Index surpassed the 21,000 point mark today. By midday, the index reached 21,011 points. At the close of trading, the All-Share Price Index was recorded at 20,997.36 points. Today's turnover on the stock market amounted to 7.3 billion rupees.
A public awareness program on the progress made by Sri Lanka's Office on Missing Persons was held today at the Temple Trees in Colombo. The event was organized in line with the International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances.
Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bimal Ratnayaka, Minister of Justice and National Integration Harshana Nanayakara, among others, were present for the event.
මේ මාතෘභූමිය විසින් ඉල්ලා සිටින මොහොතක ඇත්ත ට්‍රුත් කමිෂන් එකක් පටන් ගන්න ඕන.
At a time when the nation is calling for it, a genuine commission for truth, unity and reconciliation must be established to reveal the crimes that have taken place and bring everyone closer to the truth. We believe such an opportunity will arise in the near future. This pursuit of justice has a special reason, one being some form of economic and social empowerment must be provided for those who continue to live within these circumstances. According to my understanding, this is something that should begin, and the Ministry of Justice has already commenced work in this regard.
One must understand that we recognize the plight of the victims of missing persons. They are a special category. No matter how much money we pay them, that cannot match their grievance or their loss. What they require is continuous support. A proposal now has been made by the Office of Reparations. We prepare the scheme. I will soon seek the help of our international friends and the UN Resident Coordinator, because we need expert help with regard to preparing this scheme, because it will be a continuous package recognizing their right as victims. Enforced disappearance are not only a Sri Lanka strategy, they remain a global challenge from Asia to Latin America, from Africa to Europe. Our responsibility, therefore, is both national and global to ensure that the crime of disappearance is confronted wherever it occurs. This problem cannot go on to the next generation, not even to our next term. These problems we did not create. Our government is rather victims of this problem, at least in 88-89. So we are a part of it. We have to solve it. It cannot be dragging on. The political culture of this country was very defensive. Whenever international friends tried to help us with expertise and assistance, they took it the wrong way. And quite unfortunately, even among some government establishment, that old political culture still exists. So therefore, although we are pouring things from top, it will take time to go down.
This year's excavation of mass graves, where human skeletal remains and personal belongings, including of children, have been recovered, expose the magnitude of past abuses, and underline how many answers are still denied to families. A credible, transparent, and independent investigation which uncover facts and provide closure to families is crucial. Closure is a prerequisite to healing, justice, and reconciliation. Mass graves must be properly identified, protected, preserved, and investigated in accordance with international, forensic, and human rights standards. The recent decision to invite the public to help identify items recovered from mass graves is welcomed. To build enduring trust, however, the OMP must make victims a part of the entire search process for their loved ones, including the exhumation of mass graves. The Ministry of Justice and Integration also plays a vital role in ensuring that those institutions can function effectively and independently. And equally important is the active coordination and collaboration with other relevant justice and security institutions to deliver real results. One way to build trust is through collaboration with victims' families, while recognizing that respect and protection for their rights is essential. While some financial relief has been provided to the families, the government and the Office of Missing Persons needs to develop a comprehensive reparation package for all victims of enforced disappearances.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
One of the newest frigates of the Indonesian Navy was opened to the media during its port call at Colombo. Newsfirst Zulfiq Farzan reports from the port of Colombo.
Measuring over 143 meters in length and with top speeds exceeding 31 knots, she is designed to accommodate over 140 crew members. This is the latest addition to the Indonesian Navy, the KRI Brawijaya 320. The KRI Brawijaya or KRI Brawijaya 320, a multi-purpose combat ship of the Indonesian Navy. This ship is designed for a variety of missions including combat operations, maritime patrol, rescue and civil protection. During its port call in Colombo, a diplomatic reception was hosted on board and was attended by the Commander of the Sri Lanka Navy, Vice Admiral Kanchana Banagoda, along with several ambassadors and high commissioners accredited to Sri Lanka.
Looking ahead, Indonesia and Sri Lanka have finalizing the draft of the letter of intent on enhancing defense cooperation, which encompasses exchange visits, education and training opportunities, and collaboration in the defense industry. We are confident that once signed, this agreement will open a new chapter of stronger and more practical cooperation in defense between our two nations, including Navy cooperation.
The KRI Brawijaya 320 carries a total of 165 personnel, consisting of 32 commissioned officers, 74 non-commissioned officers, 52 enlisted personnel, and 7 passengers consist of 6 special forces and 1 medical officer. The ship is also equipped to deploy high-speed boats such as rigid hull inflatable boats, also known as ribs, using a lateral crane or a stern hauling ramp. Indonesia's latest Navy ship, the Brawijaya 320, started its journey all the way in Italy, made its way to Turkey, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and then reached the port of Colombo. From the port of Colombo, the Brawijaya 320 will head to its final destination, that is Indonesia. Reporting from the port of Colombo with my camera operator Rajita Dilshan, this is Zulfiq Farzan for Newsfirst.
The Mrs. Sri Lanka World 2025 audition took place in Colombo today.
The much-anticipated audition for Mrs. Sri Lanka World 2025 took place in Colombo today, marking a significant step towards selecting the nation's representative for the prestigious international pageant. Organised by Chandimal Jaisinghe, the National Director of Mrs. World Sri Lanka, the event attracted a diverse group of contestants from across the country. The audition serves as a platform for married women to showcase their talents, intelligence and poise, aligning with the global standards of the Mrs. World competition. The selected winner will represent Sri Lanka at the Mrs. World 2025 pageant, competing with contestants from around the globe.
The Made in Sri Lanka Trade Fair 2025 was officially inaugurated today in Arugambe. The exhibition was held under the patronage of Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Sunil Handunetti.
The Made in Sri Lanka Trade Fair 2025 was officially inaugurated today in Arugambe under the patronage of Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Sunil Handunetti. The three-day exhibition primarily targets foreign tourists and aims to showcase local entrepreneurs to international markets.
We have taken legal steps to gazette Arugambe as a tourist zone and to protect the fisheries industry, which is a positive move. To obtain the International Blue Flag certification, we have identified Pasikuda, Arugambe and Hirikatiya as key centres. Once certified, we must maintain those standards. This Made in Sri Lanka initiative will not only safeguard the tourism industry and Arugambe, but also aim to improve the living standards of people across the eastern province.
Shifting your attention to international news, Thailand's Constitutional Court dismissed Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra from office on Friday for an ethics violation after only a year in power, dealing another crushing blow to the Shinawatra political dynasty that could usher in a new period of turmoil.
Paetongtarn, who was Thailand's youngest Prime Minister, becomes the sixth premier from or backed by the billionaire Shinawatra family to be removed by the military or judiciary in a tumultuous two-decade battle for power between the country's warring elites. In its verdict, the court said Paetongtarn violated ethics in a leaked June telephone call, during which she appeared to kowtow to Cambodia's powerful former leader Hun Sen, until recently a close ally of Shinawatra family, when both countries were on the brink of an armed border conflict. Fighting erupted weeks later and lasted 5 days. The ruling paves the way for the election by Parliament of a new Prime Minister, a process that could be drawn out, with Paetongtarn's ruling party losing bargaining power and facing a challenge to show up a fragile alliance with a razor-thin majority. In a 6-3 decision, the court said Paetongtarn had put her private interests before those of the nation and had damaged the country's reputation, causing a loss of public confidence.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday held summit talks with his Japanese counterpart Shigeru Ishiba with an aim to further expand overall bilateral ties, including areas of trade, investment and emerging technologies.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Tokyo on Friday for his two-day official visit to Japan, which is set to take place from the 29th of August to the 30th of August. During his stay, the Prime Minister will attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, where he will also meet Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Prime Minister Modi's Japan visit comes amid a downturn in India-US relations over President Donald Trump's policies on trade and tariffs. The talks to be held on the first day of the Prime Minister's trip are expected to see Japan pledging to double its investment target in India, and the two sides are likely to unveil a raft of agreements to expand cooperation in a range of areas, including trade, investment, defense and science and technology. Prime Minister Modi will also meet Japanese industrialists and political leaders in Tokyo. In the second leg of the visit, Prime Minister Modi will travel to the Chinese city of Tianjin to attend the annual summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization on the 31st of August and the 1st of September.
In more international news, Indonesian police have fired tear gas at protesters who are out on the streets of Jakarta again today amid growing anger over the death of a motorcycle delivery rider yesterday.
Tensions have risen in Indonesia's capital following a protest call by students at Jakarta's police headquarters on Friday in response to the death of a motorcycle ride-sharing driver hit by a police vehicle. The driver was hit at the site of violent clashes on Thursday near the parliament as police were trying to disperse demonstrators protesting against a number of issues, including lawmakers' pay and education funding. Police have fired tear gas at crowds of protesters surrounding the headquarters of the police's Special Ops Unit in Jakarta. The Indonesian capital has seen a series of demonstrations this week over allegedly lavish MP allowances and income inequality. Some of the protests have been violent as police armed with batons and shields fired smoke bombs to stop protesters from throwing stones and firecrackers. Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto has called for an investigation into the death of a delivery rider, saying he was shocked and disappointed by the excessive actions of the police force. In a video statement on Friday, Subianto said he was saddened and concerned about the death of Gojek rider Afan Kurniawan, 21 years old, and sent his condolences. The president said the government will guarantee his family's livelihood, calling for the public to be calm and trust in his government. Still in international news, South Korean prosecutors indicted ex-PM Han Duck-soo over Yoon Suk-yeol's failed martial law plan. Former First Lady Kim Kyon-hee faces bribery and stock manipulation charges. Both are in jail, with Yoon on trial for insurrection.
South Korean prosecutors in separate cases have indicted former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo for aiding and abetting former President Yoon Suk-yeol's short-lived imposition of martial law last year, and the ex-president's wife Kim Kyon-hee for bribery and other charges. The charges were laid against Han, and additional charges included perjury and falsifying official documents. Han had been under investigation by a team of special prosecutors for several weeks. Former First Lady Kim was also indicted on charges stemming from alleged participation in a stock manipulation scheme and acceptance of gifts from the controversial Unification Church, among other activities. Lawyers for Kim have denied the allegations against her and said news reports about some of the gifts she allegedly received were groundless speculations. Han has maintained that he conveyed to Yoon that he opposed his martial law plan. Kim and her ex-president husband have been arrested and are in jail, with Yoon already undergoing trial on charges that include insurrection for his attempt to impose military rule.
Finally, in your sports news, the first ODI between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe got underway in Harare today. Sri Lankan pacer Dilshan Madhushankar completed a hat-trick in the last over to help Sri Lanka clinch the first ODI by 7 runs. Invited to bat first, Sri Lanka posted a total of 298 runs for the loss of 6 wickets. Zimbabwe, chasing a target of 299 runs, were restricted to 291 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in their quota of 50 overs. From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.